Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. How is everyone tonight? I'm doing pretty good. I actually got to spend the day with my family. I think I mentioned last night during my live stream I was going to spend some time with the family today, so I got to do that. Man, that was a lot of fun getting away from the computer, really kind of healthy, and I couldn't pick a better day to do it. Cryptos really didn't do a whole lot, although I did miss a couple of moves to the upside, so we're going to go through some of those today. So we're going to go through a few coins really fast and look some of the coins that it looks like they're kind of leading the market right now, or at least making some small runs while the market's indecision plays itself out. So Bitcoin here, I drew a couple of trend lines on Bitcoin just to kind of give some formation to a few things that are happening. The run up to 5,000 and a couple of shakeouts. Looks like a form of a double bottom here, but as of today, no real movement to the upside. We are actually in the 4-hour chart for some reference, and so 4, 8, 16 hours ago, that was pretty much this morning. Had a nice uptrend, and now we're just kind of slowly kind of moving higher, but not much happening. Volume isn't bad. Volume isn't bad right here. I'm not mad at it, but it's not very healthy. And it's just kind of chopping around. No direction as of yet. No direction. And we're seeing the same with Ethereum. I actually thought this was going to break down last night. This would have been a perfect time for this to break down, but it didn't. It actually kind of just curled up and consolidated just along here. So very indecisive action in the market. We're still living below the moving averages, and we still have this holding head and shoulders pattern in play, but really not a lot of decision here. Just lots of indecision. I think we're just kind of waiting to see what China's going to do in the next couple of days. Otherwise, maybe we float higher or float lower, or just kind of chop around. So if you remember, these events were news driven. This was rumor driven via the recent news out of China, and again now some indecision. So Bitcoin Cash, yeah, kind of just more indecision. We're seeing a lot of indecision here. Bitcoin Cash is up 4% here. It does have a nice run up from the bottom. Volume is very minimal, living below the moving averages, so not really a lot to see here. Ripple started to have a pretty nice move to the upside today. Not too bad. We kind of see the same action over here as it hits the trend line and tests this resistance level. This is a descending trend line. It is resistance. It's not just a trend line. So maybe we can redraw this line slightly, coming up towards the top of this candle. So we have a little flag here and a little flag here. So I don't necessarily think we move out of this at this moment in time. With the indecision in the market, we're going to see some selective winners and maybe some selective losers, but really more selective winners. There's not a lot of losers in cryptocurrency if you're dealing in the top coins. Ripple, not a lot to see here. Litecoin, a lot of people are interested in Litecoin. I am as well. I'm a fan of Litecoin. I mean, you kind of have to be. Any of the top 5 coins you kind of have to be a fan of. And Litecoin is not an exception. Into this consolidation after this massive breakout that we were talking about here at about 52 to 55. So we were all over this breakout here, mentioned it right before it broke out actually. And big run up to $98. Now we're consolidating, which is very healthy, even for future, for intermediate and long term. This healthy action. Hopefully we start to consolidate above this channel line, which we've talked about that several times. So Dash just kind of hanging out, not doing a whole lot. And most of these coins aren't doing a lot, especially with these leading coins. Most of them are just kind of just hanging out, low to intermediate volume, nothing to write home about. Kind of the same with NEM, more of the same, just some indecision. Long term NEM, the same with NEM. IOTA, a little bit of decision in IOTA. It's heading towards these lows, having lower lows, and just kind of wedging down. So I thought of taking a position in IOTA briefly. I didn't. It's just too low here. Really not showing any kind of jumpy action. I want to see some kind of upward momentum, something. So IOTA's not giving it to us yet. Ethereum Classic, just some more indecision. Looks like a little bit of lower action here. Really not much to happen with Ethereum Classic. Omisego. I actually closed out my position. Kind of down here. I regret it now, just a little bit, but I think we'll get some drifting to the downside here. We kind of have a bit of a trend line happening here, so maybe this gives us some resistance and takes us lower. Nothing crazy. I don't think any big moves lower unless the market moves lower. then Omisago will move in kind. Other than that, not much. Just kind of chopping around this this short-term trend line. We have a little bit of support on the longer-term trend line, which has actually kind of been leading us higher, which is really nice. Omisago is a leading coin. Neo. Neo, a lot of chop happening in Neo. We saw the drop from the ICO news in China. We saw the pop from the Bitfinex listing, and then we saw the drop from the recent China rumors. And now we're just kind of hanging out here. We're retesting this trend line here. It's failing so far. Let's see if we can get back above it. Only time will tell. I would only get back in Neo if it broke above this 24.5, 24.8 level. That would be my area of entry if you're interested. I know there's a lot of people interested for Neo long term. So BitConnect, let's talk about some fun ones now. That's kind of some of the leading coins. Let's talk about some of the smaller cap coins that are doing really well. Lisk here has been holding up really well. I've been really impressed with it. I've been looking at it for the past day or three and not really ready to get in yet. We are starting to see some pretty severe volume dry out, which is a good thing, especially holding in these high consolidation areas. This volume drought is extremely bullish, so I'm looking for Lisk to break out at some point. I may take a flyer in this, just a little initial position to keep an eye on it, and then maybe trade it a little more on the breakout. So Lisk has had a history of running, had this nice run up, nice consolidation, the symmetrical type of a triangle, living above the moving averages. The little 10-day, the 30-day. The 30-day EMA here is just kind of pushing it higher, just kind of pushing it higher. Now Lisk US dollar is a bit of a different. That was Lisk Bitcoin. I have Lisk US dollar up here. These do tend to trade a little bit differently, and I like to have them here just kind of for reference. Some nice volume here on the downside on Lisk, and it's not as bullish as Lisk Bitcoin, but it is still a pretty nice pattern, holding high up here. You know, Lisk Bitcoin, this consolidation looks a bit choppier than this does in the dollar. But the current base rate looks choppier in the dollar than it does in Bitcoin, so go figure. Either way, it's not looking too shabby here. Volume's starting to dry out a little bit. Needs a little more time before we can, I think, consider it for some moves, barring the market holds and we don't have any more big news out of China. So Stratus is looking a little bit peppy, just a little bit peppy. We had a nice little curl up. Just a nice little curl up and a very small consolidation. It kind of looks happy, kind of looks a little peppy. You know, we don't see that over here. We see it here maybe a little bit. We see a little consolidation, but it broke down. So you can't get happy about these until they break out. They could break down, kind of like they did here, but it's in a different position in the chart pattern. More time has evolved. This longer term trend line in Stratus is going to come into play here pretty shortly, and we'll kind of see what happens then. Another one that's kind of fun is ARK. ARK is really kind of sitting at these highs, just kind of poking around. We have this very nice green bar up here, although this is a selling bar to all-time highs. We'll just kind of see how this plays out. But it is looking kind of peppy. There is some distribution, so it may be choppy going up until we see some massive accumulation. Maybe there's a news event that's going to happen or something, but it's definitely being accumulated. They're letting it go higher. There's not massive sell-offs, and that is a good thing overall for ARK. This could be something good to hold and forget about for a couple of weeks. Another one that's really peppy, getting into some smaller coins, is Trigger. Trigger I had a position in. Down here out of this large consolidation area. Came up and kind of pulled back with the rest of the market. Although volume was pretty benign, volume was really small down here. Didn't really get really frothy. Had some decent support bars here off of this longer term moving average, and then popped right up here into the 30 moving average. Now we're consolidating. We'll just kind of see where we go from here. But this looks like it could be getting ready for a move. They're doing a rebranding a little bit later in the year, and they're going to be retiring apparently much of their float. Basically, they're going to be retiring a lot of the coins available, so that could put some upward pressure on Trigger. Okay, OK Cash, very interesting coin here. This was brought up in the live stream the other day by my buddy Dillman. Dillman, thank you very much again, calling you out there, buddy. And Nice consolidation here on OK Cash after this large run up. This is a large base. Looks like it's basing here. Hopefully it puts in a smaller base. I have a position in this. I got in on the real-time chat and or the live stream chat. Yeah, so this is just kind of chopping up here, sitting at higher levels, kind of stair-stepping higher. I like this for the intermediate to long term. So past that, trigger again. I did want to give a shout out to, we have Altcoin here, my buddy Frederick in the chat room. Frederick mentioned this to me a couple of days before this large pop yesterday. Had a 60% pop. Frederick mentioned it. He got in about $7. Excuse me. So good for you, Frederick. He did really good on this coin. I was a little skeptical at the time. The market was really shaky, but Frederick jumped right in. And you have to have some guts like that to be a successful trader. And so far, looks like he has what it takes. Looks like he has what it takes. So you need to look for coins with some accumulation, with some volume. It's good to, keep your ears down in the forums and Twitter, looking for these smaller coins that can make some big moves. So those are some of the more fun coins there. But overall, the market really indecisive at this particular moment in time. Looks like Ethereum decided to go lower as I was making that video. So really indecisive here. We'll see if this head and shoulders pattern comes to fruition. Still not seeing any bullish action. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see. We have to wait and see attitude. Let the market prove us right or prove us wrong, and then we can go from there. So looks like we did get a nice little sell-off here as we were making this video. We'll see what happens. So that's it, guys. Gonna call this video done. Look for some decision from the market. Until now, it's very indecisive. If we do move to the downside, I would expect everything to go with it. And we'll just kind of leave it at that. So for fun, we're looking at ARC, we're looking at Trigger, we're looking at Cloak, and actually, if you're still here, a little bonus, there's another one. I saw Diamond moving today, though it looks like it's giving some back. So, all right, guys, there you go. There's the video. Have a good night. Have a good day. And on an ending note, it's been 1 month since I started this channel. I have 949 subscribers, so thank you guys for making this a pretty successful channel 1 month in. I appreciate that. Appreciate all the support, guys, in the live stream, giving me some encouragement to keep going. I will do so. And I want to thank everyone else for watching the videos, making the Rounds About Real Crypto channel. And let's see if we can keep it going and make a successful month too. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll see you in the chat rooms.